hey everybody, welcome back, and welcome to another Wednesday edition of Abandoned and Forgotten Places. That sun's bright. I need my sunglasses. See, but when I wear my sunglasses with this, it makes me look like Mr. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm way too cool for the channel when I wear my sunglasses. I can't wear them.
But you are Mr. Coolness.
But you're right, but I don't want to be overly cool.
Oh,
Gotcha.
I see.
All right, enough fooling around. Welcome back, guys. Okay, so what do we have for you today? Well, right behind me here is a copper mine. And where we're at today is Copper Basin. That's what this place is called. It's southwest of Lake Havasu, northeast of Parker, Arizona. It's a wildly popular place for side-by-sides and jeeps and just about rock crawlers, you name it, they come out here. This little section of the Arizona desert, think of it, it's like the Moab of Arizona is what we've got going on here. So everybody comes out here, and for as many years as I've been running around out here, this mine behind me has always been open. So I'm guessing the state of California said, that one's probably safe enough. We'll leave it open. No need to bet bar that one, unlike all the rest of the mines that California does.
Yeah, keep them open until somebody does something stupid, and then they have to close it.
Well, maybe there's someone in a position of power where it's like, oh no, you leave that one open, because that gives something people to go to and look at and explore. And it's got a lot of neat copper veins around here and whatnot. So, as I was saying, Arizona is the state for copper mines, and we've got another one right here. All right, guys, this one should be interesting. Let's get started. All right, there we go. Here's the portal. And there's been so much foot traffic in this one that the ground is literally beat down like hardpack. But, you know, this one is along the way to the location, to our next location. So hang in there. That's where we're headed next. It's an interesting building that I found about 5 years ago that I thought would make a perfect place to go to for a Wednesday episode. Yeah, let's peer on up in there. No glowing eyes. I'll bet we have got batty bats, because the last time I was at this mine, there was bats up in here. Okay, little thing going off that way and stops. Let's keep going. Now, the last time I was here, 5 years ago, the wind was blowing pretty good outside, and there was quite a breeze moving through this mine. And that's because there is an ore pass leading to the surface higher up on the side of the hill, because they were pulling copper from surface level and dropping it down here to the main haulage. Now, what I just bypassed, or what I'm crawling around right now, is another one of those passes, but see, this one just went up and stopped right here. They never continued it. That's it. Unlike the next one I'm going to show you, which goes all the way up. Okay. There we go. Another reason why I wanted to show you this mine is this little feature right here.
Man-made hoist.
And I'm sure that some of you out there are going to see this and go, oh yeah, we've been to that mine. We know exactly where you're at. So yeah, this was some kind of I'm guessing a hoist. It had something to do with this winds over here. Let me show you it. Kind of an interesting contraption. And all it did was go down about 15 feet, and it just stops right there. Now, looking back up, pay attention right here. You see the flat footwall, and you see the copper minerals resting against it. Now, just keep that in your memory for a second, because I'm going to be showing you something here in a moment that's related to that. But just take notice of that nice, smooth, footwall right there. All right, turning around. Kind of interesting, huh, Laura?
Yeah, it almost looks like an old, like an exercise piece of equipment.
That's what it was. See, the miners, they didn't get enough exercise pulling all the ore out of these mines, so they brought in a piece of exercise equipment.
You could do sit-ups. You sit right there, and then, yeah.
No. It's one of those rowing machines.
Oh, that's it.
It's a
yes.
rowing. Would you like to give everybody a demonstration?
I've never used a rowing machine, so probably.
All right, guys. Take a look up here. Pretty cool, huh? Looks like there's some manganese running through that too.
Yeah.
See all of the larger, like it looks dendritic or dendrites running through. But I'm not seeing a lot of blue right there. Where the blue really pops is right up here. Dendritic. I'll bet I just made that word up.
I've never heard of that word before, so
No,
you
that's
very well may have.
That's made up. I made that up. They're actually called dendrites. They're made out of manganese. But can you say that a rock is dendritic?
I would say so.
I would have to Google that. Okay,
Some
this
blue.
one goes up here and stops. That's as far as it goes. We've got a T. We're starting to see more blue coming out of the rock here. This one tees off this direction and stops, but now we can start to see the blue criscocola in here. And this is all scale. It's not like the stuff that we were mining where you can actually, where it's thick, you know, it has some substance to it, because if the miners found that, they've already removed it. This is just scale. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, that's right, there's a winds up here. I don't remember it being very deep though. Before I show you the winds, let me show you more of the blue there. Isn't that pretty? And then the winds going on down. Looks like it only went about 25 feet down there, and then it's choked off. That's it. All right. Okay, we got one going up this way, and then another one going off to our left. And now here's the thing I want to show you. Remember earlier I said, remember the footwall, the flat footwall? Okay, look what's up here as I point the camera up this ore pass. You can probably see it right up there. See how nice and smooth it is? And this is the one that's going to go all the way up and out to surface. Higher up on the hill, there's a short adit. Probably goes inside of the mountain about 50 feet or so. And then they were dumping it down right here. Yeah. And there's more bats up there.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's come back to this other one. This one here is the primary. I like the geology in here in the vein. See, this right here is the margin between the limestone right here and the vein that they were extracting. And this, so if this would be extracted right here, this is the same smooth footwall that I just showed you up in that ore pass. The only difference is they didn't take out the ore. And it's a lot skinnier there too. So as we were coming up here today, I was telling Laura that the place I really want to take you, where this building is with all these cool core samples, is. It's neat, but it's not enough to grab up 30 minutes for an episode, so I figured we would just dive into this one. Ooh, here we got some stuff flaking off. That's ready to come down. Yeah, a little more moist in here too. That could be because we've got bats. We got bats? We got bats? Hey, we got batty bats.
We got bats.
We got bats. Yeah, anything up in here? No. No, I see some manganese though. Right here. Pow. Right there. All right, turning around. You want to go first?
Oh, sure.
Everybody enjoys seeing bats fly past Laura's head.
'Cause that's what they do.
I think you're getting used to them now. But we've only seen them in the dozens.
Not the hundreds.
We're all
Or
waiting for your
thousands.
reaction to hundreds and thousands.
There will be that day, but I don't know if today is the day.
No, today's not the day. All right, let's head up into this one. We got any hiding up in here? No. And that's it. Okay. Turning around. Okay, so as we head back out towards the portal, I want to make you guys aware of something that I have been spotting recently. Okay? And I just want to bring it to your attention so that none of you get scammed out of your hard-earned money. I love all that blue. It's just beautiful. Yeah. And so what I'm talking about as we head to the portal is okay, so let's go back to the early days of the gold rush. There was a lot of people out there that were buying claims and then turning around and selling them for big money, and then and with that was coming these big claims of, oh yeah, it has this much gold or this much silver, and if you buy it for this price, you'll get rich, etc., and on and on and on. And a lot of people fell for that, and a lot of people back in those days lost a lot of money because of it. Well, believe it or not, that kind of thing still takes place to this very day. Even in 2024, it's still happening. There's people in the world that go out and they claim up an old abandoned mine, and then they make big claims that it has this much and that much, and if you processed so and so, and you're going to make this much, and then they put a crazy price on it. Okay. Now, the way you got to look at it is they've only got a few $100s into the whole thing. They went out and they put up a location marker and they paid the BLM what they needed to pay them so that they could stake their claim. And then they turn around and they're trying to sell it for thousands and thousands, if not tens, and even sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what they're doing is they're hoping to lure a individual that isn't very smart about mining into their little spider web and take all their money. And then when the person goes out and he starts actually mining, it's like, hey, there ain't nothing here. You told us that it was all full of gold or all full of silver. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention. Let me turn the camera around here. Because that kind of stuff is still happening, okay? So if you're thinking about going out and buying a gold claim or a silver claim or a placer claim, you absolutely have to do all the testing yourself. You got to get out there with the person that's selling it, okay? And you got to get permission from them to, like, okay, I like what you're offering, but I want to test the ground. I want to see if it really exists. And you got to do a lot of testing, and you got to do a lot of assaying, and you got to go through that process, which sometimes could take a year or two, okay? And that's how you know that there's actually some minerals there, like what they're saying. But now, if you approach the person and they're like, oh no, we can't allow that. We can't. No.
That's probably a red flag right there.
That's when the red flag should go up, because if they don't want you to start testing, that should immediately raise your antennae. All right, enough of all that. I just wanted to let you know that I'm still seeing it. And and obviously I can't like name names and stuff like that, because I don't want to get sued for slander or go end up something like that. But in this format, how I just said it, It's going to keep me out of trouble, but it's going to keep you guys informed. Okay, next, we're going to hop back in Bob. We're going to head up deeper into Copper Basin up here. And a long time ago, what they did up in here is a drilling company. I don't remember if it was somewhere in the 40s or 50s. Anyways, they came up in here and they just drilled the heck out of this place. And of course, they put a building there, and they left all their core samples behind, and it's still sitting there to this very day. I want to show you guys that. It's pretty darn cool. All right, guys, we'll see you up there. All right, guys, there we are. Yeah, it didn't take too long to get over here. So let me just pan around. What do you think of this place, Laura?
It's pretty cool. You got the wind blowing with the tin and it doing its little kind of creepy haunted house kind of noise. My mom always loves places like that. So she would love to camp out here overnight.
And just hear the squeaky tin.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a building. That's where all the squeaky noises are coming from, down there. And then it extends up this direction. Here, you see a big water tank on top of the hill over there. So we are like dead center in the middle of Copper Basin. As I pan off this direction, on the other side, just over these like hills, or these little hills in the foreground here. There's an incline shaft over there. I just got done showing Laura. It's something that we're considering. For me, it puts off a really heavy, don't go in there kind of a vibe. But for Laura, it's like,
come on in.
Come on.
I'll show you what's in here.
And if you look off this direction, you can see the chimney or the stovepipe. That's the one that I was pointing out to you guys. If you can remember when we were doing our Q&A and telling you about the rocks. So right on the other side of that feature there is Parker, Arizona. But we're on this side of the Colorado River, so technically we're in California. But on the other side of that, you go on the other side of the river, and now you're in Arizona. Yeah, and then looking off this way, I wonder how many people have hiked up there and climbed that thing. I'll bet quite a few. And then off this direction, looking out in the distance towards that hill that you see way out there, on the other side of that is, or just on this side of it, I should say, is Copper Basin Reservoir. Is that what it's called? Or does this have a different name?
I'd have to look.
There's a big body of water right over there. You can't see it from here. And on the other side of that big hill over there is Parker Dam. Now I was telling Laura earlier that the incline shaft that's over here, she says it goes down 300?
Well, that's what I've read, yeah.
So, but more than likely that incline is going to go into water because we're so close to that reservoir. I'm guessing, but maybe not. All right, let's poke around up here. So when they were up here doing all this core drilling, this is where they stacked all their samples. You can see them still sitting on the shelves. They just left everything behind. And now the roof is blown off, exposing all of these pigeonholes, which are a perfect place for a little snake to be coiled up in. So watch out for that. But you can see as they were drilling this, it looks like they were also crushing it too before putting it into the bag. But not always. I mean, it could have been coming out already kind of loose. It doesn't necessarily have to be in like those hard rock core samples that I've showed you so many times over the years. So it's one or the other. But they're just stacked in here everywhere. And it's all just samples of copper ore. But I think it also had some secondary stuff too, Laura.
Yeah.
It wasn't just copper that they were finding at this location.
No, I'm sure there were other minerals too.
Typically there is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go under. Let's squeeze in here. Squeeze. Go this way. There we go. Look around this direction. But it's a neat place to come if you're into four-wheeling, you got your side-by-side or your Jeep. It's just a super popular destination for those kinds of folks. Everybody comes out here. Some people even overnight, and they build a fire. And it just goes sample after sample, on and on. Yeah, all the way up to there. Okay, another building. This looks a lot worse than when the last time I was here. Yeah, the wind has gotten to this even more. And boy, if you need some tin, I know where you can get some free tin for your barn or your shed. Let's head down this way. So you might be asking, so Gly, all right, you're showing us stuff that you've already seen before. Why are you doing that? Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you why. But I'm going to do it as soon as I get off all this noisy tin. Another, some kind of a processing building here. All right, let's turn around and head over to this next one. Okay, so let's go back to the latter part of 2018 coming into 2019, right before I started my YouTube channel. All right, so back then, I was still suffering from all of the after effects of chemotherapy, and I was pretty bad. I mean, I couldn't walk more than 50 yards. I couldn't talk. I had chemo brain. I was a real mess, guys. And this is one of the first places that I came, and I nestled into an RV park near here called Black Meadow Landing. And from there is where I slowly started going out every few days and doing my own little hikes. You know, I would push myself because I knew that I couldn't keep sitting in my chair. If I kept doing that, I was only going to get worse and worse and worse. So I had to go out and I had to keep pushing myself. So each day I'd go out and push myself a little harder and a little harder. So, you know, a few hundred yards turned into a quarter mile, and eventually a quarter mile turned into a half a mile, and on as my legs strengthened. And during that process, that's when it occurred to me, hey, why don't you take a camera along with you and start recording these places that you're finding? And that's what I started doing. And the very first mine, Laura, that I ever documented was not too far from here in what's called the Riverside Mountains.
Okay.
And then I think it was in like episode 2, I headed out to what's called the Turtle Mountains. And that is the one that it was 3 miles in and 3 miles back. And I did it. I was so proud of myself after I got back from that hike, you know, because only a few months prior to that, like I was saying, I couldn't even walk a few hundred yards. And so as I got stronger and stronger, that's when I started turning the cameras on and documenting these mines in these various places. And eventually I started my YouTube channel in the latter part of February in 2019. This is the outhouse. This is where the toilets were. Right here. And around the corner here. And that is another reason why I wanted to come back to this part of Arizona this winter, because I feel like I've come full circle in my YouTube endeavor. That's not to say that I'm going to stop exploring abandoned mines. Oh no, I'm going to still keep doing this hobby because I love it so much. But yeah, I've come full circle. I feel real good about that, you know?
From where you started to where you are now.
Yeah, and these are just some of the things that I found back then that I never showed you guys, but I want to show you, and that's why we're here today. Okay, turning around, let's head back through the complex this direction. Yeah, what a cool place, huh? Pretty neat. If you ever find yourself in this part of Arizona and you have a, you know, halfway decent four-wheel drive vehicle, I highly recommend you come on out here and check it out. Pretty neat. All right, let's head back over to Bob. So, since we're in this area, we're also reconning some things, seeing what we can put together for a neat Saturday show for you. But I thought this one was perfect for a Wednesday. All right, let's turn the camera around here. Point it back this direction towards us. Yeah, so that was fun. I think you guys enjoyed this one. You know, it's not all about the underground all the time. Sometimes there's neat topside stuff that's pretty interesting, and that's what this site had to offer. So what are we going to do for them this coming Saturday? Don't dive too deep. We got a long winter ahead of us. See, I always tell Laura, I say, you know, because when we get to a new spot, like we're here, right? She's anxious. She's like what I was, like
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
I still have the mind crazies, whereas he's now gotten to the point where he sees something, he's like, no, we're not going down that. Whereas I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. Come on, let's go.
Do you remember how I used to be when I was, you know, working with Frank, and we would just like, we would both of us would just go nuts. Back then I was just, you know, I was just really intense and really eager to get into these mines and crawl around and such like that, you know. But after a period of time, you know, you do so many and you see so much, and I've had so many adventures that I agree, I have become jaded. So I like to look for ones that are in a little bit higher level or a little bit more interesting, both geologically as well as what's going on with the infrastructure of the mine. And so because of that, I pass by stuff.
Yes.
You know, that's just how it goes. But you're eager. You're jumping on it. You're chomping at the bit. But you have to remember that since this is the early part of the winter exploring season, I don't want to dive into stuff that's too extreme right now, because if you were to get hurt right now or get a mild injury, say break an ankle or something silly like that, then your whole winter's ruined.
Yeah.
So in the past, I've been very strategic sometimes about the mines that I explore for that very reason. You know, I kind of like save the more crazy.
Oh, I see.
Towards the end, it's like, okay, now we'll, you know what I mean? I dish it out kind of like that. At least that's how I...
Start out slow and kind of work your way up.
Exactly. That's how I justify it in my mind.
That's fair.
So, all right, guys, enough jabber, John. I'm glad you came along today for this Wednesday episode, and we will see what we can do and see what we can find for you for this coming Saturday. All right, don't forget to bid on a rock. Lots of cool ones out on the eBay site. More of that black tourmaline, as well as that bismuth and K-Nite. Hop down in the description area, click on that link, help the channel out, and bid on a super cool rock. Okay, guys, we'll see you in a few more days. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.